What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today, currently in the engine bay because I'm going to be cleaning out the air filter. So I'm going to show you guys the proper way to clean out the cone filter and re-oil it. Should be a pretty similar process regardless of what intake you have, as long as it's like a cone filter that's reusable and recleanable. So I'm just going to lay out the tools you're going to need for the big SF intake. It's not much. You just need the Allen key to get rid of the screws on the intake box. You're going to need to remove the clamp that's holding in the filter itself. And since I'm already going to be cleaning out the air filter, I'm also going to remove the mass sensor and clean that out. Okay, so here's everything you're going to need to do the cone filter cleaning and re-oiling. So I have here flathead screwdriver, 3/8 inch drive wrench, some 10mm sockets, some extensions. I have a quarter inch wrench, 8mm socket, 4mm Allen wrench, 3mm Allen wrench, the air filter oil, air filter cleaner, and also if you're going to clean your mass sensor, mass airflow sensor cleaner. Alright, so to remove these screws that's holding in the lid, if you have your original tools from the Cobb kit installation, it should be the larger of the Allen keys that came with the kit, which is a 4mm. So a 4mm Allen key will help you remove these screws. Alright, so to remove the clamp that's holding in the filter itself, this is an 8mm, or you can get a flathead and you can remove that. Okay, so I don't really have enough space to pull the filter away from the intake pipe and then out of the box. So I'm just gonna have to remove the box, unfortunately. It's not that difficult though. There's 3 bolts holding it in. There's one up here. There's one down here where my finger is. I already removed that one. And another one here. So these 3 are 10mm. And then also it helps if you remove the snorkel. So I remove the snorkel. There's literally just 2 pop clips, one here and here, that hold the snorkel in. A flathead screwdriver will help you get rid of that. So, yep, I'm just gonna pop the box out, and then that will have enough space to pull the filter away from the pipe and up and out. So once you have the filter out, just take it out and just hit it on the ground to get rid of any loose dirt. And then once you get off as much of the dirt as you can, pull this off. Once you get as much of the dirt off as you can, what you're gonna wanna do is then get the cleaning solution, which I'm gonna show you guys. I bought a cleaning kit for this filter. So just make sure you get the correct cleaning kit for whatever intake you're running. I bought mine right off of the Cobb website, but there's a cleaning solution. So basically you spray the whole filter down with the cleaning solution, let it soak for I think it's 15 minutes, and then what you do is you spray water from the inside out. That way you push out any contaminants that have collected on this thing. Overall, doesn't look too bad. I mean, this spot's dirty because that's where the snorkel's hitting it directly, so that collected all the dirt, but as you can see, the rest of the filter is pretty clean. So I have here the Cobb air filter cleaner. So I already tapped this thing to get any excess dirt off of it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just use the spray here and then spray down the filter. So I sprayed down the whole thing. I don't know if you have to really spray down the inside because there's not really any, contaminants inside. Everything should be on the outside. And then also when I'm washing it, I'm gonna wash it from the inside out anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna let this sit for, I think it says 15 minutes. So yeah, let this sit for 15 minutes. Once it's done, I'll come back, get my hose, spray it with water from the inside out, and then let it air dry. Once it's done drying, I'm gonna use the air filter oil to re-oil the filter. So while the cone filter is soaking with the cleaning solution, I'm actually gonna just work on removing the MAF sensor so that I can clean it up. It's kind of dark, but over there where my finger is pointing, that is where the MAF sensor is installed. So just make sure you unclip it. There's an electrical clip. Unclip it and then remove the 2 screws that are holding it in. They should be the other Allen keys that came with the cop kit. If you don't have them, then it's a 3mm. So 3mm will get rid of the screws that's holding in the MAF sensor. So I have the MAF sensor here. Remember, be very careful with this. This thing's really delicate. So don't drop it or anything like that. I have here also some MAF cleaner, mass airflow sensor cleaner. You should be able to get this at your local hardware store or auto parts store. I think maybe even Walmart might sell this stuff. But anyway, what you want to do, get your sensor, look for where the wires are, so they're right there. And then this can says you want to spray it about 10 to 15 times. So I'm going to go 2, so then just let it dry. This stuff evaporates really quickly, so don't worry. But yeah, so let it sit, let that stuff soak in there, dry, and then just remember before you turn on the car to make sure this is completely dry. You don't want to run this if it's still wet because you're gonna have issues. But yeah. But anyway, by the time the filter is completely cleaned out, you put everything back together, this thing will be ready to go, so you don't have to worry about it. So the sensor is fully dried off. So this is ready to go back in the car. Remember when you put this back in that the plug has to face towards the front of the car, at least on the Cobb intake. I'm not sure about other intakes, but just remember, plug faces towards the front. And it doesn't matter if you flip it because you'll notice that it doesn't fit correctly. It only fits in one way. So filter's done soaking. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my hose and spray from the inside out. That way you make sure you push out any contaminants. And then once you're done, just take the filter and then let it air dry. Don't use a heat gun or something to heat it up because you don't want the cotton material on the filter to shrink. So, just let it air dry. Might take a little while, but it's okay. And then once it's fully dry, we'll come back to it and then spray it with some oil. So once you have the filter all dry, so if you look inside, filter's dry now, no more water. The next thing to do is get the air filter oil and then basically gonna lightly coat the filter. Remember, you don't want to soak the thing because if you soak it, it's gonna get all over your MAF sensor and it's gonna mess with the readings. So, and then this one is this is the blue oil. So the filter's gonna have a light blue coating on it. It's fine, but let's just lightly coat it. So you don't want to go crazy. Just make sure that it's as evenly coated as you can get it. like like I said before, you don't want to like completely soak the thing in oil. And then, get a glove because it's gonna get a little messy. So once you do that, just let the filter sit for a few minutes. Make sure that oil gets in there. If you spray it with too much oil and it has like oil dripping all over the place, then just wipe off the excess. It's not a huge deal. Just wipe it off. It's fine. But yeah. So now I'm gonna let this stuff soak through, and then I'm gonna put it back on the car. Super important thing to know when you're putting the filter back in. I don't know if you guys can see. I have a little mark. It's right here where my finger is. I put a little mark there, which is 1 inch away from the inlet. The reason I did that is because with the Cobb Big SF intake, the tune is calibrated with the filter at 1 inch, because I guess at 1 inch there's like a specific airflow that you get, and that's what the tune is designed for. So just make sure that when you put the filter back on, put it in 1 inch away from the inlet. My mark is still there, so I'm gonna just follow that. All right guys, everything is in there. It's all set up. I make sure that it was 1 inch away from the inlet. So, yep, just gonna close it up. Thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. Give it a like and thumbs up and subscribe if you guys want more stuff like this.